just you and me again?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I believe so. Haven't heard anything from YR as of late. I guess he's busy with his thing there, blah, 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 and all that good stuff there to see how everything is going. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WrestleManiax will be in Arcanoia. And we're going to pick up where we left off last week, where we were talking about all the other wrestling promotions that are out there, other than the basic ones we know, like AEW, WWE, NWA, such and such and such and such. So we're going to be discussing that for the time
And
being.
most of them not around.
I know exactly. We got to look at the ones that are no longer existing, and but before we do so, we need to talk about this. And we were supposed to talk about it the last time, but we were so occupied with the main subject of this story that we forgot to touch up on it. But I feel we need to touch up on this most definitely because this is obviously one of the most pitiful, hurtful stories that this is probably one of the biggest fall from grace stories to emerge in how many years. And I'm speaking, of course, Tammy Lynn Sytch, aka Sunny, the first WWE diva. She was involved with that company for most of the 1990s. She was extremely popular with all the male audience, the young boys, the adult men out there. She was reportedly one of the most downloaded women throughout the most of the 1990s, you know, and now she's serving 17 years behind bars for a fatal DUI. Apparently, what it was is that last year she was at Daytona Beach. She was drunk. She also had cannabis in her system when she crashed into this automobile, killing the man inside who was 75 years of age. He was a Daytona Beach resident. She was booked on manslaughter. She was found guilty a few weeks ago. Was sentenced to 17 years behind bars. And the question I put it up on my poll, which is on my channel under the community line, after being sentenced to 17 years in prison for that fatal DUI she caused, should Tammy Lynn Sytch be removed from the WWE Hall of Fame? And a rousing 62% said no, while a 38% said yes. Now,
Well, basically, my take on that is the Hall of Fame doesn't really exist anyway.
yeah, it's just,
So
the one man picking who they want to be in the Hall of Fame, who they such and such here.
there's no setup for it anywhere. There's nowhere you can visit to see it. I mean, it's basically,
Just something that they have a little wall of plaques and such and memorabilia in the WWE headquarters, if I'm correct.
probably, I don't even know that.
I don't know, even myself there. I guess you get some sort of award and a trophy and a ring or something like that, for what I understand. And this brought up to my mind, you know, if that being the case, and I'm going to sound very critical of the results I got for this poll, you got to remember she committed manslaughter. She killed
Right.
a man while intoxicated. And then the record of DUIs that she had in the past was outstanding. One right after another, one right after another. It's like, you think after a long while, she realized, hey, I got to quit this. I got to stop this because I'm going to end up in the deep shit afterwards. But she couldn't. She was so consumed by this addiction issue that she's had for how many years now that now she's totally hit rock bottom. She's behind bars now. And way before all this happened, all the other performers in WWE, ECW, because she was involved with that company for a couple of years. I remember Justin Incredible, aka Aldo Montoya. He said, I hope she gets some help. She really needs it big time. I know sure other performers had said the same thing, but the one to make that decision was Sunny herself. But she didn't choose that. She chose to go behind the wheel once again, drunk as a skunk, killed somebody. And for some reason, this bothers me because, if that's the case, should we then allow O.J. Simpson to be in the Football Hall of Fame despite him murdering his ex-wife and her companion at that night in 1994?
Did he get removed or is he still there?
She's still there, from what I understand. I haven't heard any updates on if she's still there or not there. I'm not
No,
going
I'm
to make
talking about OJ.
I know, I don't think he'll ever be in there. I doubt so because when you think about it, he disgraced himself. Well, not just with the murder, but the fact that he's used to beat up on his ex-wife. I mean, it's fully blown detailed in that. I mean, it's obviously she was considered his trophy wife, air quotes. And if that's the case, should we allow Pete Rose to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame despite him being banished from the game for life for taking part in that gambling scheme, which you all know is a big no-no within the sports region? And if that's the case, should we allow Chris Benoit to be finally in the Hall of Fame for WWE despite what he did on that night in 2007, where he killed his wife, his son, and later himself?
Yeah, and Shoeless Joe Jackson's not in the Hall of Fame either.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, geez. And I would not be surprised if Joe DiMaggio was not in there as well because of that scandal that happened in the 1930s or 20s. That later became the subject for that movie Eight Men Out. No doubt about that.
No, Joe DiMaggio wasn't a part of that.
Okay, my bad for that. It
Joe
was
Jackson was.
Joe Jackson. Ah, that's my. Thank you for correcting me. I got the two mixed up. I just
And he's
remember
not in the Hall of Fame.
that's true. So I guess I don't know. It's just kind of confusing for me because you know the moment you get inducted into that Hall of Fame, whichever it's music, wrestling, sports, whatever, then you turn around and do this. It's like what the heck? And when you think about it, this is a pretty serious thing. I mean, Hulk Hogan, he was removed from the WWE Hall of Fame for a couple of years. He was allowed back into it. And all he said was some racist crap directed towards the boyfriend of his daughter at that time. I understand he was concerned for his daughter being with a guy that's supposedly a gold digger, for what I've heard, but I would not call him that word altogether, let alone bang your best friend's wife. I mean, it's just, and of course, we got to bring up Jodie Lauder, China. She may
Mm-hmm.
never be in the Hall of Fame because basically because of Stephanie McMahon, which was so involved with that company. I mean, she left the company prior to her dad returning for a brief short time, but it was very clear to all the wrestling fans and marks out there that China may never be in the WWE Hall of Fame because of the simple fact that Stephanie will prevent that. And I think the reason why is because Stephanie never liked China from the word go for some reason. Because I
Right.
remember in an interview that she did with Vince Russo on his channel, she stated, China did, that she was called in the office and Steffi was there going full blast on China, saying me and Triple H are together. There's nothing you could do about it, blah, blah, blah. No apologies, no sincere, where it's like, I'm sorry that you had to find out this way, blah blah blah. But still, it just uh, it just wasn't right.
No,
And I know she did some adult movies. I know that may be one of the big reasons why. But then again, Sunny did one as well.
right.
So think about that. But yet Sunny's still in there and China isn't. And China was a full blown athlete. She competed in the ring. She was the first female entry into the Royal Rumble around the Attitude Era. I mean, when you think about it, it's just at the same time, it just doesn't lickety split to me for some reason. And if anybody out there who's watching this or watching this later on when we're done, let me know what you think. Is It's all confusing to me at this point. So I don't know, just mind-boggling when you think about it. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
and just just I cannot speak no more because I have nothing to say, and at this point, I'm getting tongue-tied and twisted with my words that I just can't really go on with the subject no more. But I'm just gonna say this, if there's ever a time for her to finally get herself together, now's the time. It's just sad that it had to take this for her to finally realize what she was doing. And let this be a message to all the people out there who get involved with addiction issues, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whichever. There is a consequence to all that. And what we've seen from Tammy Lynn Sytch is a perfect example of that.
yeah,
All right, there. In fact, just makes me it's sad. Okay, let me put this in here. Let's see, we got all other wrestling promotions. Okay, I'm going to, here we go. So I'm going to type up because I'm sure there's probably more in there. All right. So shall we begin once again with our
okay.
continuation? All right, there. So there are a few others out there. Like, let's see. We have a few in the United States, United Kingdom, Ireland, Mexico. We got to get to Mexico because wrestling is indeed popular over there, no doubt about it. We already know Triple A worldwide. Now, here's this one called Consiglio Mondiale di Lucha Libre. And I don't know much about that. Let me look it up here, which I guess means World Wrestling Council. It's a professional promotion based in Mexico City. It was previously known as Expresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre, which means Mexican Wrestling Enterprise. It was founded in 1933 and is the oldest professional wrestling promotion still in existence.
Hmm.
That's good there. And it currently recognizes and promotes 12 world championships on various weight divisions and classifications, 6 national level and 6 regional level championships. The CMLL Anniversary Show series is the longest running annual major show starting in 1934, with the CMLL 37th Anniversary Show being the most recent. The promotion also promotes major events under the name. Let's see if I can pronounce this one. And what do we have here on the chat here? Let's see here. I cannot pronounce this. Home Nate de dos Legendaires, which, by the way, it means homage to two legends.
Hmm.
They have other promotion names like No Mercy, No Escape, infertile in the ring. And within the year, this company has promoted weekly what's it called? A Super Friday on a
Okay.
regular basis since the 1930s. Wow, that's something. Now that's getting your stuff out there. That's for sure. All right. And also I think we mentioned this one the last time, the Crash Lucha Libre. I think we did, if I'm correct.
I think so.
All right, there. There's another one called let me pronounce this. Oh, here's one. Tori Yuman, which means Ultimo Dragon. It's a professional promotion that operated in Japan until 2004 and then later in Mexico, where it's called the name I just mentioned. It's owned and operated by Yoshihiro Asai, Saai, who's best known under the name Ultimo Dragon. It's a coined word that means fighting dragon gate. And the word is coined with the word homonym, Homonym.
Homonym.
Homonym, thank you. That literally means climbing up Dragon's Gate and means gateway to its success. Now, the promotion was created to give graduates of the Ultimate Dragon Gym a promotion to gain their initial in ring experience. It developed a major following and grew into becoming one of the hottest independent promotions in the country. The promotion ran for 5 years. On July 4th, 2004, Dragon left the promotion and took the name and trademarks with him. The wrestlers and officials decided to adopt a new name, Dragon Gate, and continue in the traditions of Mr. Dragon. Since then, Mr. Dragon has promoted Tori Yuman mainly in Mexico, but also holds occasional shows in Japan. Ah, interesting there. And we have this one here, Promo Azteca, originally known as some name I cannot pronounce, unfortunately. Mexica de Lucha Libre, I guess it's called. It was a promotion that was founded in Tijuana, Mexico in 1995, taken over by Conan from the original owners, and later George Rojas the following year, and was home to many luchadors wrestling for the World Championship Wrestling WCW during the late 1990s. Ah. The company sought to become the third national wrestling promotion in Mexico with the support of Television Azteca, the country's second largest television network. However, WCW eventually withdrew its support and banned luchadors under WCW contract from working for Promo Azteca.
Hmm.
It was unable to recover from this loss, the company did, and it later closed its doors in 1998. And the notable talent was Angel Azteca, Blue Panther. Let's see, we have Halloween, Damien 666, Villanelle 4 and 5. We also had El Dandy, Hector Garzera, and YR is trying to call in, I believe. We're going to add him to the call later on. In fact, let me try to get the guy here. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the dude. Give me a couple of seconds, YR. Let me add you to the mix in a couple of seconds. You got to wait till you get off the call. Anyways, you also had Ultimo Guerrero, El Zorro, Super Crazy, who later joined ECW later on. Let's see if I can add YR to the show here. Give me a couple while. Let's see. I know it's one of those moments where you try to get in Let's see if I can get Wire on the phone here. Give you a couple minutes, folks. Just have a name go at the last minute there. Because I didn't know if YR was going to be joining. He never contacted me, see if I was if we're going to be doing this episode for tonight. Okay, let me see if I can get a hold of the boy. And I can see right now everything's taking its own sweet ass time in terms of making things work. Okay, I've got why I'm going to put his phone. Okay, look. I'm going to get a hold of. I try this again for some dumb reason. There we go. I got rid of that little thing up above saying, let everybody know that you're being recorded, blah, blah, blah. Hold up. All right, so YR's calling on the phone. Should be popping up on the computer in a few minutes. All right. Takes a while for some dumb reason. Then again, it's probably the Wi-Fi that we got at our joint over here. All right. Hold on a second there. Wait a minute. I'll just put the YR. Let me put him on speaker here.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, what's up, YR? You okay, man?
Yeah, you want me to add Ark or
Well, Ark is already here.
I'm here.
add me in the call or
All right, I'm trying to right now, but it seems like this dumb stupid computer is taking its own sweet ass time, unfortunately. So we'll get this. Let me try this.
add an Ark to this group here.
Okay. Okay, let's give me a couple minutes. Come on. I hate when this happens. It's been happening quite a while with this, with this particular computer.
Just tell Ark to join the thing.
All right, there.
I'm
Tell you
there.
what. Are you at home right now, YR?
Yeah.
Okay, there. All right, I'm trying to add you to the call on the computer, but for some dumb reason, it's taking this sweet ass fucking time, and I don't appreciate it one bit. I'm one of those guys that try to. Tell you what, let me end the call here, and you guys call me back. All right, guys?
We're all here.
All right, there. But you got to add me back because this computer is acting up for some damn reason.
Brown, hold on. This all in the call, and then I'll call back, and Brown answer that call on your computer.
All right, there. Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. All right. All right. Hopefully this bullshit will be working good. All right. All right. So it says here, YouTube is not receiving enough stable bullshit once again, and that's what's fucking it up again. I'm getting sick and tired of this crap. All right. Here we go. Let's try this. Jeez, man, it takes a long goddamn time for the things to load on my computer. There we go. There you are. Let's do this. There we go. Hopefully this work. All right, finally.
Thank you, brother.
All right, there. Now this thing is working finally at last. It's been taking a long while for it to finally get going here. And it says on hold. I don't know why it's saying that. Now, there we go. Now it's on. Now we good. All right, so glad you're here with us, YR. YR, can you hear me?
Yeah, is Ark here?
Yeah, Ark is here. I see him on the call here. All right.
There.
All right, there you are.
I was on for a minute, but I wasn't there.
I don't know. Something with we gotta probably check our internet for some dumb reason. It's
Well,
probably
is YR there?
YR's right here, right now. Yep, he's on the call. It's us three of us tonight, folks. All right, there. All right, so let me get we were on the Mexican luchador stuff. All right, there we had oh yeah, as we mentioned, they had Venom Black for a while. Super Crazy was
Hello.
one of the most standout star of the division. He
Thank you,
wrote,
Dr. Brown. Thank you.
"You're welcome, dude." All right,
We're
there.
here.
So if you got no of the independent wrestling promotions, definitely put them up right now because that's what we're discussing for tonight. Actually, we're doing part two. We did part one last Thursday. Now, as we mentioned, Super Crazy will later found success with the Extreme Championship Wrestling throughout the later 90s. And I guess, and I think, what we got here? Extreme Latin American Wrestling. It's a promotion founded in Mexico in 2001 by a wrestling journalist, Ernesto Ocampo, spelled Ocampo. It is credited for being the first hardcore wrestling company in Mexico, kind of like a little ECW of their own. And the promotion began as an attempt to show the Mexican fans that the wrestling style that was practiced during the 1990s in foreign promotions, like, of course, ECW and FMW. Now, the promotion was founded in 2001 and closed 4 years later. It, however, was restarted in 2009. All right. So it's like I say, the little ECW of your own, or their own, I should say. All right, there. Now here's this one from England. I gotta mention Lucha Britannia. I guess this is like a masked wrestler division that they got here. It
Yeah.
was a British lucha libre style professional wrestling promotion based in Bethnal Green, London since 2000. And for what I understand here, it combines the lucha libre style of wrestling that is categorized by the wearing of colorful masks, rapid sequences of holds and maneuvers, tag teams, and high flying styles, the traditional British technical style, I meant to say, North American, Japanese wrestling format. Aside from wrestling, the company has events that include, cabaret performances, comic interludes, and side acts. All the characters and performers of this promotion loosely fit around a fantastical narrative called the future, excuse me, retro future verse, wherein a fractionist band of outlawed prize fighters known as the United Resistance Movement battle for justice and dignity against the dastardly representatives of dictator rulers, better known as the state or the Yankee Booch, Boche. In a
Almost sounds like a comic book.
yeah, or something like the Avengers or some intergalactic Star Wars type story when you think about it. But it is most interesting to see this played out in a wrestling ring, since according to Vince McMahon, all his people on this roster were supposed to be like superheroes when you think about it. All right. Okay. The
Are
promotion,
you going to see the Iron Fist movie?
am I going to
Iron
see it?
Claw.
The Iron
Yeah.
Claw movie. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Hmm.
Basically was around when most of that story took place.
Yeah, you got to definitely tell YR about the stories about that promotion, WW, and how legendary it was.
They were trying to attempt what WWF or WWE
WWF.
finally ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to do it first.
Mm-hmm.
They had a link to ESPN. Actually, so did AEW.
Mm. So and of course the WWF would later get one of the stars from WCCW. Of course, Kerry Von Erich, who later became the Texas Tornado. And it always bothers me when they change their names, like they did with Medusa Maselli becoming Alundra Blaze. But then again, that's how Vince and Bruce Pritchard were. You got to be a character. You got to be something different, you know. Anyways, and the stream ended.
What? Come on,
Yes,
Brown.
I'm sick and tired of this shit. This happened yesterday.
Goddamn 1995 fucking Macintosh computer you have. Come on, man.
It's not. It's not that. I don't know why it's doing this.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
I'm getting tired of this. I tried fixing my OBS. I did a couple of test streams last night. The last one I did, the late towards the evening, was pretty good. And boom, it went. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I got to contact somebody and see what's going on here because it's making me mad. So what we're going to have to do is just record this on Skype and upload it later on.
Still, but obviously it's a connection. It's not the computer. But
I don't know why it's doing this. I mean, I have a lot of things of it. And when I go to other pages, other tabs, it usually has a little bit of buffer issue. I don't know why it is. I'll try this again. Gosh. The stream finish. I mean, and it's still recording. I'm going to try this again.
That should be an interesting playback.
All right. Recording. All right, we'll try this again, folks. Hopefully it'll work this time. All right, so we're live once again. Hopefully this will work out once more.
That
That's
should, be
excellent.
that should be an interesting movie because the Von Erichs were rock stars in the WCCW.
Yeah,
Yes.
they look like rock stars when you think about it there.
I mean, their feud with the Freebirds was absolutely legendary.
Yeah. I'm wondering though, who plays the Freebirds in this movie there? Did he get Michael Hayes to put on a wig and revise his old look? Because I know Zac Efron from the Ted Bundy movie and the High School Musical franchise that Disney put it out. He's involved with this movie. I guess he plays Kerry Von Erich, if I understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover. It should be interesting. And I don't know how far back they go. I don't know if they go back to the Fritz Von Erich time or what.
Mm. All right, there.
My guess is they mainly cover the boys.
All right. All right, there. Did we cover Pro Wrestling Pride or PWP as it was often referred to? Did we ever cover that company there? All right, there. It was often referred to as Pride Promotions. It was a company based in southwest of England, established in 2012 by pro wrestler Darren Ferguson, otherwise known as the Savior. And since its inception in 2012, until its demise in 2017, the company promoted a range of shows utilizing events in Southeast England and occasionally in wider Europe. It was known for its liberal use of United Kingdom-based wrestlers and international stars like Mr. Anderson, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Rob Van Dam, and the style of the events could be described as traditional sports entertainment, with events designed to be fun for all ages, suitable for families, as opposed to the more extreme and alternative style of wrestling, which is marketed at older viewers. Oh. And like I said, it ceased desist back in 2017. And I think we mentioned this one. I'm not too sure if anybody recognizes this company here. I'm about to read. Let me know right now. XWA, another British wrestling promotion based in the English southeast town of Sudbury, Suffolk, dealing primarily in the professional wrestling industry. The XWA was founded in March of 2007 following the demise of Frontier Wrestling Alliance, FWA, when Greg Lambert formed the new promotion from its ashes and continues to run quarterly events in other areas of the UK, using FWA titles, some former FWA talent, and a lot of new local talent. XWA's business, they focus on the being professional wrestling and nothing else. Right? And we're going to go to some ones in here in the States. I think we talked about this one. Did we talk about reality of wrestling?
I don't recall.
This one's based in Houston, Texas. It was established as Pro Wrestling Alliance, and it was established by Booker T, the WWE Hall of Fame, and also one half of Harlem Heat, which were tag team champions throughout WCW's history. All right. And its first show was held in December of 2006. Booker T started the promotion to give pro wrestlers the opportunity to train properly, as well as keep the legacy of Houston wrestling alive by Paul Bosch. Bosch, thank you. The money made at shows is donated for Fight for Kids Foundation. It's a charitable organization which helps kids stay off the streets and show them the benefits of a better life. Props to Booker T for doing this. Monthly events were held at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, Texas, and later at the Clear Lake Recreation Sports Center in Clear Lake, Texas. In December 2007, Rob Van Dam wrestled his first match after leaving WWE against Booker T for the PWA. And the match is included on the DVD, The Best of RVD TV Volume 1 DVD in the extras. Right? In March of 2012, after 7 years in the Pro Wrestling Alliance, the promotion was relaunched as Reality of Wrestling, ROW, and began holding events at the Booker T World Gym in Texas City, Texas. The name change was a decision by Booker T himself. The promotion almost closed with Christmas Chaos planned as their last show. However, last-minute investors and partners helped the promotion to continue its run. All right. All right, so props to Booker T for doing that for all the kids out there on the streets. They also covered this one, Warrior Wrestling. And it was,
don't recall that name.
All right, there. All right. It was based in Chicago Heights, Illinois. And members of their roster include Alex Zane, Alpha Wolf, Anthony Henry, Arez, A-R-E-Z, I'm going to talk here, A-R-E-Z, A-S-F, Bandito, Beastman, Brian Cage, who's now with AEW, Brian Pillman Jr., who I guess is part of the WWE, I guess. I guess he's involved with
I don't know where he
NXT.
is.
Brian Pillman Jr.? Never heard
Yeah, I
of him?
have no idea. Well, I know who he is. I never heard it. I don't know who he's associated with.
I don't know. From what I understand, he's involved with the NXT brand. I know there was a little promo that he did talking about how he never was able to know his father because he was a way infant when Brian Sr. passed away. We also had Dan the Dad, Dante Martin, Darius Martin, Davey Bang, Davey Richards. Oh, we know this gal, Deanna Purrazzo, who's now in NXT. The Drago Kid, Dragon Bane, Fuego del Sol, Golden Dragon, Heather Reckless, Jake Christ, Crist, Jake something. That's a new one. Jay Briscoe, he was involved with that company. Jeff Cobb, Jonah, Kari Fredericks, and many others. Oh, Killer Cross was involved with this promotion. He will later be known as Karrion Kross in the WWF and NXT brands. Mark Briscoe, Mike Bailey, Mike Bennett, I've heard of that name many times, Mike Outlaw, Miranda Alize, which is alive with the Z replacing the V, Nick Wayne, Ninja Mac, Psycho Clown, Ray Leon, Santana, not the band or the guitar player, but that's the name of the wrestler, Silas Young, and Sky Blue, who is also also involved with the AEW and is also involved as the Warrior Wrestling Women's Champion for this promotion. Swerve Strickland. Oh, Tessa Blanchard is involved with this, as well as Thunder Rosa. Props to her. She did some phenomenal work when I was watching her with the NWA a couple years ago. Warhorse is also included. Zachary Wentz, many others. See what we got here. All right, we had this one called what's it called? 205 Live, which I guess is part of WWE. I guess. Let me look this up.
Cruiserweights.
Yep, exactly. It was established in 2016 and discontinued in 2022. Brands are divisions of WWE's roster where wrestlers are assigned to perform on a weekly basis, where a brand extension is its effect. Wrestlers assigned to 205 Live primarily appear on the brand's weekly television program, which of course is 205 Live. From October 2019 to 2022, the brand served as a sub-brand to WWE's developmental territory, NXT, which allowed 205 Live wrestlers to also be on the show, NXT. Right? Okay, there. And did we also mention Extreme Rising?
I don't recall that name.
I don't think so. It sounds like a name of an action movie. And it was an independent wrestling promotion founded in 2012, meant to fill the void of hardcore wrestling left by ECW's Reign of Destruction. The company, however, closed its all doors in April 2014, sadly. So only 2 years this company was existent. So, all right there. So that's pretty much. YR, still there, bud? YR?
I'm guessing apparently not.
He's still on the call. He's not muted. Probably away for the time being. All right, so I'm going to lay off of that for a while there. I know, Yark, you want to talk about World Class Championship Wrestling some more because I know you were eager to tell everybody else about this company, which of course was based in Texas, of course.
Yeah, Dallas Fort Worth area.
Yeah, it's right there. I regret not being able to check out Dallas / Fort Worth / Arlington, any of those areas. And I also regret not being able to check out the grave sites of Vinny and Daryl Abbott. And we know who they are by chance. We know. I know YR was able to visit that site. He has a video on it on one of his channels. Go check it out, folks. So, any wrestling promotions you want to talk about, Ark?
Well, the main two that I know, well, it's actually 3 or 4.
Mhm.
The main ones, though, that I know because I watched them all the time was WCCW, Mid-South, to some degree, Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a couple of times recently on YouTube. They have old broadcasts featuring Ole Anderson, Roddy Piper, Don Morocco. Before he became the Magnificent Morocco, by the way, I should say.
Yeah. And
Gordon
some of the things I remember was one that really struck me was in Mid-South.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair came there to allow Ted DiBiase to wrestle him for the World Championship. Dick the Bruiser, I forgot his last name.
I just
went in there and told.
Go ahead.
He went in there and told Ted that he needed to step aside and let him wrestle Flair. And, they kind of discussed it for a little while. Then all of a sudden, one of the best sucker punches I ever saw, Dick the Bruiser go-cocked Ted DiBiase.
Damn.
Then proceeded to pummel him all about and opened him up
around the room
where he was bleeding pretty heavily.
Damn.
And the rest of the show, they would cut back to the back and you'd see Cowboy Bill Watts talk about, oh, he's bad. I don't know if he can do this. Their doctors are real concerned, that kind of stuff. And finally, towards the end of the show, Ted DiBiase was going to game it out. He was going to be out there and wrestle. And he was wrestling with the bandage on his head.
Wow.
And of course, you know how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And doing a pretty good job. And Bruiser shows up again and nails him yet again. Does one of those pile drivers on the floor and opened him up again. That was the end of that particular match. That whole segment is sitting on YouTube. I've seen it there.
I gotta check this out, man. Now, the fight, was that a real fight or was it a work?
Probably a work. Who knows?
Right there.
Wrestling is hard to tell sometimes.
Sometimes, right? You got to go to WrestleMania to find out if it was a work or a shoot or whichever there. But Dick the Bruiser, the name, he also had, I got to give him credit because he, for a while, had Bruiser Bedlam Productions. I remember seeing it a couple times on the independent TV circuit in the, I guess it was the later 80s or 90s. And Bruiser, by the way, Dick the Bruiser, believe it or not, there was a morning radio show, JJ and the Morning Crew, that ran on one of the local rock stations back in Detroit. was a guy named JJ and a guy impersonating Dick the Bruiser. And he came up with some interesting skits. He came up with interesting topics. This Bruiser had this little commentary segment called Meet the Bruiser, which I kind of like was kind of funny when you look at it there. If you can find it on YouTube, definitely go for it because there was some interesting stuff there. I know my mom would drop me off at school around that time, around the early 80s. We would stop and listen to what he had to say. Then we wait in the car till he was done. Then I head off into class. And he was a long popular figure within that rock station's market there and their fans. So it's pretty sad that when he passed away. And I guess the guy who portrayed him on that radio show, he later retired. I guess JJ got together with somebody else, and I guess they moved to a different rock station, and where he was let go a few years ago. I think guess this may have been during the before the pandemic, if I'm correct.
Of course, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm in this community. Talk about all the many stories involving Detroit, Michigan. And other parts of Michigan, I should say, as well, like Roseville, Richmond, and once again, the saying, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, such as blah, blah, blah. It's doing it again. And I don't like it one bit. And shout out to Steve Callan in my chat there, as well as Mr. BR, one of our mods. All right. All right, so do we have anything further to say about any promotion, anything related here? Okay, so what I'm going to do... Go ahead.
The Iron Claw movie should be good if they cover it the way I remember it.
Right there.
Yeah, you pretty much know the Von Erichs were big. David Von Erich was scheduled to be the world heavyweight champion. And of course, he passed away in Japan.
I know, yeah.
And it's kind of a sketchy story about how all that happened.
Yes.
And Bruiser Brody was involved because he basically went to the room and removed a bunch of paraphernalia, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
To make it look like it was something other than it was.
Yes.
And that was the reason Bruiser Brody, when he came in, was given such a big push because Fritz was obviously a fan.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have Kerry and his story and what happened there. You have Mike and his story. And what I'd like to say about Mike is probably a nice guy, who knows. But if you look up some of his videos, that guy gave the stupidest promos you could ever see.
Oh, really?
And basically, he was bad. And he was a horrible wrestler. You see some of his wrestling and wonder, but Fritz, of course, pushed him, made him a big thing.
Tried to push all his boys.
Yeah. And Chris Von Erich, I don't think ever really got a start. And he ended up going the same route as Mike and Kerry.
Oh.
And the only one left was Kevin Von Erich. And he wrestled barefoot.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that. Is he still around, hopefully?
I believe so.
That's good to hear.
I haven't heard about him not.
I know there's a female Von Erich involved in some wrestling promotion. I don't know if it's AEW or some other independent circuit, if I'm correct.
I kind of remember that, but I don't know if he was a true Von Erich because there was for a while a Lance Von Erich, which was not a Von Erich. He was some other guy, but he was playing like he was their cousins or something.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But then again, we have many Anderson brothers out there, and their real names are not Anderson. And most likely there are a couple Armstrongs that are not really Armstrongs in real life. So what
Right.
do I know?
It's pretty common, though.
All right, there. I think that's.
Because Fritz
Go ahead.
apparently had a brother, Waldo, that wasn't his brother, it was some other guy.
Waldo. Oh gosh, where's Waldo? That's what comes to my mind right now with that name.
But yeah, there were a lot of old wrestlers that I remember that a lot of people probably never even heard of. Brute Bernard.
Mm.
That guy he's the guy that George the Animal Steel patterned himself after.
I see. All right. I guess that possibly concludes our episode for tonight of
Yeah, I don't have
WrestleManiax. I don't have anything else. Everything that's also on this list was mentioned last week. So I guess we'll close it out for tonight. So what are we doing next Wednesday in terms of Music Maniacs?
Oh, one of the albums, I thought.
Well, yes.
Let's start with Sgt. Pepper.
Absolutely. Spot on. We got to talk about it. Let's start off with one of the greatest summer albums of all time. All right. So this will conclude tonight's episode of WrestleManiacs, folks. And for ARC, myself, and YR, everybody have good remainder of your Thursday evening. All right. Everybody have a good time. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And God bless each and every one of you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. I got to get to do something about this damn computer. That's for sure there.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go.
All right, there. You have a good one, okay?
Wednesday.
All right, gotcha. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas, ARC.